Good evening, Bridgeport. Thanks for coming out tonight. It is 7:43. This is our April 9th meeting. If everyone would rise with me and pledge the flag. Roll call, please, Angela.
Laura Hauk,
Here.
Kyle Schenk,
Here.
Amy Hyde,
Here.
Megan Nolan,
Here.
Diane Gundrum,
Here.
Tony Heil,
Here.
Saba Al-Zayed.
Here.
Madam President, we were in executive session from approximately 7 o'clock to approximately 7:40 with regard to real estate acquisition and personnel.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. First up, a moment of silence for Mr. Peter DeSanto Jr. Pete passed away on April 3rd at the age of 84 years old. Pete was a lifelong resident of the borough, former council member, former zoning hearing board member, most recently a civil service commission member for I think the past 20 years, somewhere in that vicinity. Somebody who dedicated a major chunk of his life to public servitude and loved this community, as did the rest of the DeSanto family, who roots run very deep here in Bridgeport. Mayor, I know that you and the Founders Day Committee just presented him last year with as one of your inaugural honorees in the inaugural Founders Day celebration. Wonderful guy, and he'll be sorely missed. So if we could give a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Next up, for council consideration, approval of the March 12th, 2024 meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Heil, a second from Ms. Gundrum. Do we have any questions or concerns from the public or council? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
And I just noticed that there is a slide omitted, but next up on the agenda for this evening is, for council consideration, a zoning hearing notice. The applicant and address in question is 700 DeKalb Street, and the date of the hearing is May the 1st at 7 o'clock p.m. Members of council, in your packet, just for the record, since the cameras don't give the full illustration of who is in the audience. The applicants are not in attendance this evening, but in your packets, members of council, you'll find a packet of information headed up with a memorandum from Director of Building and Planning Wanzik, dated April 4th. Essentially saying attached is the zoning hearing application for 700 DeKalb Street. The ZHB hearing is scheduled for May 1st in council chambers. The applicant name is listed as 536 East Main Street, LLC, in care of a Ding Yi Wang. This is the property is 700 DeKalb Street, the former location of Bridgeport Family Practice. And the zoning relief requested is that the applicant requests a variance to the terms of Section 560-24 and the table of permitted uses contained in Attachment 2 of the zoning ordinance of the Borough of Bridgeport to allow the first floor of the existing building, which fronts DeKalb Street, to be converted into 2 apartment units. Just for or?
Mr. Borough Manager, I
Yes,
would be
please.
looking for some direction as to whether to stay neutral in that proceeding, to oppose the application, or to support the application.
I would say we've had a lot of meetings with our planning commission about our commercial corridor and parking. What we found is that the residential areas have significant parking issues, and that commercial areas have fewer parking issues compared to residential areas. I'm sure all of us who live in Bridgeport know the challenges of parking when someone owns a home or apartments. And part of our goal in looking at DeKalb and 4th Street are not adding more first-floor apartments, so we could make that commercial. It's our design for the future of the borough is to bring in more commercial enterprises into those areas. It helps both the residents and commercial industries. With that in mind, I think that this goes against our goal for the borough having those first-floor apartments. And plus, if we say yes to this, it means we'll really be in a position where we have to say yes to future people. It'll be really hard to say no. With that in mind, I would recommend denying the request to have first-floor apartments in this place.
Or to instruct my office to oppose the application at the hearing.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry.
Is that a motion, Mr. Howell?
Well, I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything. I don't want to just talk for all of council, but that would be, I'll make a motion to oppose yes, I'll make that motion.
I concur with Mr. Howell. We have a plan in place, and I think if we're going to deviate from the plan, there would need to be an overwhelming reason. And I don't want to necessarily oppose what people want to do with the property, but I think we should stick with our plan. Consistency is going to be key with what we want to do, so I'll second that motion.
We have a motion to oppose from Mr. Heil and a second from Mr. Schenk. Do we have any other comments or questions from council or the public? All those in favor to oppose?
Aye.
Any opposed to the opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. For council consideration, notice of award for the hazard mitigation demolition project. Members of council, as you may recall, we advertised the demolition bid package for the FEMA hazard mitigation grant program, flood-affected parcels that the borough has acquired. The deadline to submit a bid for this proposal or this advertisement was last Friday, April 5th, and we received two submissions, I should say. And they are on the screen for everybody's perusal. TD Construction Company came in with a bid total of $329,750, and U.S. Construction Group Incorporated came in with a bid of $698,000. Mr. Phillips, I would respectfully turn to you. If there's anything else that you would like to add, is have we been able to adequately vet that both contractors have submitted what they need to insofar as performance bond and things of that nature?
So we reviewed the bids, and they've both submitted bid security as required by the bid. We found that the low bidder would be considered a responsive bidder, and if it pleases the board, we will then go through the process of the award of the contract, which would be vetting of their financials, their experience, getting the performance and payment bonds, and the signed agreements along with their insurances as required by the contract.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. So with that in mind, if it is council's pleasure, the vote this evening, or the motion, would be to authorize notice of award to TD Construction Company for the hazard mitigation demolition project.
Pending my office's review and their satisfaction there too.
Thank you, sir.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Schenk, a second from Ms. Nolan. Do we have any comments or questions from the public or council?
Just a couple questions for Roger. One, we had discussed making sure that we feel satisfied with how many bids we would get because of the kind of project it is. You're satisfied that we have sufficient amount? It's not like we only get one?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. This is a responsive bidder. They were kind of right in the ballpark of what we were thinking it was going to cost.
And did not that I'm going to say yes, but if we said we want to put it back out for bid because there's other construction companies, we could be in the situation where these people, in addition to others, increase their costs because costs go up and everything.
Absolutely, you never know, but typically that's what you see when you rebid something as it goes up, unless you make a reduction or a clarification in the project itself.
I just want to put that out there. So that's it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Moving on to unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business to discuss this evening? All right, seeing none, we can proceed to committee reports. Are there any committee reports to share?
I will say from the Small Business Committee, Dr. Ray and his team have been talking about continuing the Bridgeport Award that they have. So they will have that possibly at the next meeting, which is in 2 Mondays from now, I believe.
All right, thank you, Vice President Heil. Seeing no further committee reports, we could move on to the mayor's report. Mayor Jack Sear.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody who made our second annual Founders Day an amazing success. If you stopped by to see what all the fun was about, or if you took the time to volunteer or participate as a member of the committee, I appreciate you and hope that you had as great a time as I did. I can't wait until next year, so if you're interested in joining the planning committee for next year's event, we will be meeting here in Borough Hall next Tuesday, April 16th at 7 p.m. Also, this week, April 7th through 13th, is National Library Week. I want to thank our home library, which is the Norristown Library, and the library which is closer and many of our residents visit as well, the Upper Marion Library. So make sure to support these community spaces that are free and welcoming to everyone by visiting and utilizing their free resources. Not only do they have books, but they have programs, digital resources, and can also act as meeting spaces for the community. And they can also use more financial support from our legislators. So please make sure that you show your support by reaching out to our state and federal legislators to let them know they should advocate for additional financial support to these organizations. Finally, I just want to announce that I'll be hosting my monthly office hours on Thursday, April 18th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. in my office on the first floor of Borough Hall. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jack Sear, and just wanted to, again, say much appreciated to you and the rest of the volunteers and staff that made sure that this year's Founders Day went off without a hitch. I know the borough had posted a thank you note on Facebook to the volunteers and committee members, but just to put it out there for public consumption. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Founders Day Committee, in addition to Mayor Jack Sear, Esther Cardone, Barbara Clerico, John Gundrum, Beth Jack Sear, Nicole Milburn, Mike Reed, Elise Sarkich, Laura Smith, and the Founders Day event volunteers, Judy Bowers, Scott Bowers, Ryan Brennan, Melissa Cilio, Roan Matthew, and Rena Varghese. It was a great event, so thank you. Moving on to the Chief's report. Chief Beretta.
Good evening, Bridgeport. Mom, I want to thank Cindy Seeley of Mom's Meals. They're delivering 500 shelf-stable meals so that we could better help our Bridgeport residents with food security issues. If you can, go to the Growing Bridgeport Together website. You can click on the Mom's Meals link. They're basically first come, first serve. I know that Growing Bridgeport is going to have a meeting tomorrow night, and there might be an event or a certain date, time, place to pick up some. besides those that can't deliver. But we'd like to thank Mom's Meals and Growing Bridgeport. We're also going to help out Norristown Borough with some deliveries of meals. If you do know anybody that has such issues that we can help, besides connecting them to the Upper Marin Area Community Cupboard and the little pantry, please reach out, because Mom's Meals is a great partner and has helped a lot of Bridgeport families get through some tough times. This Saturday, I guess, is the water rescue training. So we have some of our police officers and firefighters will be out on the water in Bridgeport, working with our rescue boats and equipment. So we thank them for all our volunteers and officers and firefighters for all of their training and preparation. Mission Kids event, we attended over in Norristown Borough at the Transportation Center. So one of our juvenile officers, Officer Stead, attended that this past week to make contact with lots of people. It was well done. Mission Kids is the organization that assists us with the Child Abuse Center for critical child abuse interviews. It's a great organization, and it's a great resource for Montgomery County. We had a stolen vehicle truck on the 27th of March up by Tube Methods. And the reason why I bring this one up is that if your vehicle doesn't appear to be drivable, if it has tickets on its windshield wipers, things of that nature, people of the wrong sort will look at that as well. So not only should you care for your vehicle and keep it running and et cetera, but if you don't, there's people that will look to lift with the tow truck or some other way and remove your car because they feel that no one's paying attention to it. So yet it's a different reason to make sure that your cars are in drivable condition, don't have citations on the windows or on the front of the car. Our license plate readers at DeKalb and Crooked had 708,000 reads, and our DeKalb Street and Front Street had 571,000 reads over last month. We have a bunch of training for our police officers, a wide variety of training between search and seizure law, drug interdiction, A-RIDE, which is advanced roadside identification for DUI enforcement, and drug DUI enforcement. That's going on currently. So I want to thank all the officers for stepping it up and getting the training that's going to raise the bar and raise our level. That's all I have for you tonight.
All right, thank you, Chief Beretta. Moving on to new business. Are there any items of new business to discuss this evening? All right, moving on to announcements. Are there any announcements this evening?
I have just, I'll make it real brief. I know yesterday the cloud cover was a bit of a bummer for the eclipse, but I wanted to share a little anecdote. There was a father and son over at the Wawa yesterday, and the son looked up to his father and he said, "Hey, Dad, could you explain the eclipse to me?" And the dad said, "No, son." That's all. Yeah, I witnessed that. Hand to God.
I love that, Kyle. I think Bridgeport was the perfect place to witness and not be able to answer questions about the eclipse. We were up at the park, and there was plenty of people, and I hope to see the park be that packed all summer long with all kinds of kids, but that's absolutely hilarious, Kyle.
I'm so glad that's on public record now.
It was a short agenda.
Any others before I jump in? Alrighty. So I'm really excited to share that we have 2 new businesses joining our Community of Colors project. If you recall, this is a project where we showcase our talented Bridgeport Elementary students' artwork and this month it'll be from April 10th until May 1st. So really want to give a warm welcome to 2 fantastic establishments we have in town. Bridgeport Rib House is our first. As we all know, they have fantastic food, and on top of that, they were so gracious to give 25% discounts to anyone that mentions the project. So if you're going there to see the art, mention it, and you will get 25% off of your next item that you purchase. Our second establishment is our Bridgeport Veterinary Hospital. As we all know and love, they give the best care to our furry friends and are, also very involved in the community. They have also committed to 10% discount on any office visit. They'll also give you a fun goodie bag if you come just to see the artwork. They're very excited, both very excited to welcome everyone. Our last round was really successful, and they're looking to have the artwork back, and we'll have this running through hopefully the entire year and the summer as well. We'll be kind of well prepared for even when students are not in class. So just want to let everyone know that this is happening. Again, it's from April 10th till May 1st. I really encourage everyone to go check out the art. And just wanted to mention the kids' names really quickly. Their first name's not really their last, just to kind of say, but I want to give them a shout out. In fourth grade, we have Kevin, Daniela, and Aaliyah. In third grade, we have Aiden, Manny, and Denisha. And second grade, we have Travian, Emily, Nora. And first grade, we have Sophia, Marcus, and Briella. Kindergarten, we have Caleb, Julio, and Felix. So thanks again for all the artwork and for all the collaborations. Really excited to see them around town. I also wanted to say a huge thank you to Mayor Jack Sear. I think the event on Saturday was fantastically well attended and really well run, as always. So really thank you for being someone that's committed to Bridgeport and committed to fun in Bridgeport and also heritage and kind of preserving our history. I think I always learned so much. And despite what I thought, I learned different things this year than I did last year, which I didn't know was possible. So that was very exciting. I want to thank the police and fire teams that we have. You guys are available, and the kids had so much fun exploring your vehicles and exploring the firehouse. So your work is never unnoticed, and we really appreciate you as well for the collaboration. That's all I have.
Thank you, President Al-Zayed. I had two more brief announcements I wanted to share, some good news and some bad news. On February 4th, one of our newest members of the Bridgeport team, Mike Brown of the Public Works Streets crew, and his wife Donna welcomed their third boy, Devin Major Brown, into this world. Came in at a bouncing 6 pounds and 13 ounces. So congratulations to Mike and Donna, and wish them well, and wish Mike well, and congratulate him if you see him in your travels out on the streets. And then briefly wanted to share additional condolences. A gentleman named Duck Shin, who was a former sewer plant engineering consultant, former employee of Gannett Fleming, who did some really tremendous work for the community over the last, I'd say, from 2016 through 2023 at the very least. Pivotal in getting us some good grants and helping us through some DEP consternation. Duck passed away about a month and a half ago. The news traveled, I guess, a little late to our office. Duck was on vacation with his family, and there was a child drowning or at risk of drowning, and Duck jumped in to rescue the child. Fortunately, the child made it, but Duck did not, and Duck was a class act all the way, a gentleman, just a really nice, pleasant guy, and he'll be sorely missed. So thank you. On that, I apologize, somber tone. Are there any other announcements this evening? All right, well, seeing none, we could then proceed to public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak this evening? Seeing none, council could certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, it is 8:08. Thanks for coming, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.